If you did well academically and your first job still feels unstable, this is why. One of the biggest shocks for high-performing graduates is this. Being smart is not enough in your first job. And that can feel deeply confusing because up until now, intelligence has worked. It has carried you, you understood quickly, you understood and solved problems, you passed exams, and you adapted fast. And then you enter the workplace. And what happens then? Suddenly, intelligence and everything you've known alone does not stabilize you. Let's unpack why. In education, intelligence is highly rewarded, top level. You are assessed on understanding, analysis, output, memory, structured thinking, and the framework is well clear, isn't it? Everything is very clear and how things are graded. If you are capable, you perform well. At work, the evaluation is different. The system changes. You're not longer measured by how smart you are. You are measured on reliability, judgment, timing, awareness, consistency, and professional maturity. Those are different dimensions, completely different dimensions. And they are not taught explicitly. You might understand a task immediately. You'll have it on your computer or it's verbally said and you'll understand it. But the workplace also evaluates, did you clarify expectations? Did you prioritize correctly? Did you communicate progress? Did you consider the impact on others? Did you manage ambiguity well? Did you understand the task completely? These require something beyond intelligence. They require professional judgment. And judgment develops through exposure, not exams. Many intelligent early career professionals experience frustration at this stage. Why? They think, okay, I think I've got this. I understand this. So why does it feel unstable? Because understanding is not the same as integration. You can intellectually grasp something and still misjudge it, the judgment, and it's not well balanced. So you misjudge its weight in context. I know that's very graphic, but that's exactly what it is. For example, you may complete a task correctly and you're like, oh wow, I've done a really good job. But if you miss the deadline because you were perfecting, being a perfectionist, and details, and that signals something different professionally. Intelligence might push you toward depth. Professional maturity requires balance. You need to balance all of it, and deadlines are deadlines. That would be an example. There's another subtle shift. In education, your performance is individual. At work, your performance is relational, so not only individual. Your output affects others, your delay affects timelines, and your tone affects collaboration. And that is a big one. Being smart privately is not the same as operating effectively within a system. And work is a system. Always a system. So let's say something very clearly. This is not about lowering intelligence at all. It's about expanding capacity. Intelligence gives you speed. Professional maturity gives you steadiness. In your first year, you are building that steadiness. That can feel slower than you expect, especially if you're used to being ahead. And still, it doesn't mean that the first year you will have and you will be like a 5-year ahead experienced member of staff. I've seen very intelligent people, and I've been there in that situation that you see them struggle early in their careers, and that's why I started this channel. Not because they lacked ability, but because they assumed ability would be enough. And work requires more than that. So in all these 30 years, what I've seen is emotional regulation under pressure. So that's what work requires. Clarity when instructions are vague. Even when you think that those instructions are clear, you always have to verify it. You always have to give feedback. Have I understood this correctly? Is this what you are asking me to do? And obviously, if it's not clear from the beginning, then step ahead and say it. Discernment about what matters. Strategic restraint. Long-term thinking. Yes, long-term thinking also. And these are built through practice, and you have to build them block by block, and not talent alone. There's also an identity adjustment here, because if you have always been the smart one, it can feel very destabilizing when that identity is not immediately rewarded. But work does not reward intelligence in isolation. It rewards, what does it reward? Contribution with standards. But contribution with standard is what work rewards. And standards are contextual. Every company, every field, every industry is going to be absolutely different. There are two paths here when this realization happens. So you've got the first path and the second path. So the first one, you can become frustrated, feel misunderstood, conclude the system is flawed. And the second one, recognize that intelligence is a foundation, but maturity is under construction, is constructing. And that construction takes what? Time, obviously, time. The people who grow faster are not always the smartest. They are often the most observant. They notice everything around them, what actually gets rewarded, what truly matters, what signals reliability, what builds trust. These 4 things. And that trust is built through consistency, not brilliance, not brilliance. If your first job feels harder than expected despite being capable, pause before concluding that something is wrong. Ask instead, there are many questions you could ask yourself. Where am I? What dimension am I currently developing here? What is this structure? Speed or steadiness? Understanding? Am I understanding all of this? Or is it judgment? Capability or consistency? Professional growth expands you beyond intelligence. I'll say that again. Professional growth expands you beyond intelligence. It asks you to operate within structure, ambiguity, responsibility simultaneously. Structure, ambiguity, and responsibility simultaneously. At the same time, with standards. And that again takes time. And it is completely normal that it does. Don't you think? It is. Experience cannot be learned. It's only time that will give you that experience. Time. Being exposed. Doing, acting, doing, acting, doing, acting. And clarity is the beginning. Practice is what creates that change. If you want to be a professional self-leader and work with me in the mentorship, you will find the link below. I'll see you there.